Right, welcome to the solution to problem 9-4 located on page 422. This is a make or buy decision, and we need to decide whether to continue manufacturing a component in-house or outsource it. An outside supplier is offered to produce and sell one type of carburetor to Troy Engines for a cost of $35 per unit. To evaluate this offer, we've got the following data or information. Okay. And as we go down the list here, it says looking at fixed manufacturing overhead traceable. Okay, so this means this is overhead that, although it's fixed, it's traceable. In other words, it's clearly resulting from this particular product line. So the manufacturer of this carburetor is generating this $6 per unit. Although it's expressed as a variable cost, it's really what it is $90,000, right? It's not $6 each time a unit is manufactured. It's $90,000 in total because it's fixed, but divided by the current production of 15,000 units means it works out to $6 per unit. Okay, but it's got a little asterisk which says 1/3 supervisory salaries, 2/3 depreciation of special equipment with no resale value. So again, we know with depreciation, it's an income statement expense, but it is not a cash flow cost. The cash cost, the relevant cost here for the item was when the equipment was purchased way back when. The fact that you're either depreciating it a little bit per year, or if you get rid of it, you'll write off the cost. Either way, it's not different between the two alternatives. So in this case, only the 1/3 supervisory salaries will be avoidable if we stop manufacturing this. The 2/3 depreciation won't. That's the gist of the information that's being told to us there. Okay, so required number 1, assuming that the company has no alternative use for the facilities that are now being used to produce the carburetors, should the outside supplier's offer be accepted, show all computations. Okay, so what we want to do here is basically show, what does it cost to make the stuff versus what does it cost to buy it. And so that is going to be, if we go here, make or buy. Direct materials is, if we make it, it's going to cost us $14. If we buy it, it's going to cost us $35. That'll be the only cost associated with buying, right? We've got direct labor. So these are variables. So this is clearly going to be relevant and avoidable if we outsource the product. As is variable manufacturing overhead at $3 a pop. Now we get to that fixed manufacturing overhead traceable. So fixed manufacturing overhead traceable. So again, we said the depreciation is not avoidable. Only the supervisory salaries are, which is 1/3 of this. So 1/3 of the 6 is 2, right? So 6 times 1/3. The fixed manufacturing overhead that is common or allocated is definitely not going to be avoidable. So it, either we can write it as, one way we could have done this is we could have put 6 here and 4 here, because if we buy it, it's not going to go away. Maybe that's the easy way to do it. Let's do that. 6 there and 4 there. And the manufacturing overhead is going to be 9 there, the allocated, and 9, right? So we can add all of that up, and we can get 42 there, and 35, and that's what, 13 is 48, right? And there's $6 difference. So that's one way to look at it. Or you can only include the avoidable stuff, which would be the $2 here, and that would be 0. At the end of the day, it kind of doesn't matter. It would still end up being a $6 difference, right? In favor of making. So make would be the answer to the question here. Okay. Supposing that if the carburetors were purchased, Troy Engines could use the freed capacity to launch a new product. The segment margin of the new product would be $150,000 per year. Should Troy Engines accept the offer to buy the carburetors at $35 per unit? Show all computation. Okay, So here we are saving $6, right? So 2 savings from making $6 times the 15,000 units So the question before us then is, we could outsource the part and it would cost us 90,000 bucks, but what do we call it? New business? New business, $150,000 coming in. Now we are $60,000 better off. Better off to outsource and produce new product. So again, you always got to be thinking about the opportunity cost, right? If I'm going to get rid of this thing, what am I doing with this spare space? If it's just going to sit idle, often it's not worth it. But if you've got something that you can use it for that will generate some profit for you, now you're cooking with gas. So I think that concludes the problem.